What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com, and welcome to the fam. It is Fridays with App Masters, where we really break down what's happening, what's working in the app space, and help you with your apps. We take a look at your apps, help you audit it, and we've seen some tremendous success from those simple app audits too. So if we've taken a look at your app and you've made some changes, reach back out to me. Let me know if I was right or wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong anytime. And joining me today is a friend of mine that I've known for so many years, and he's joining me to really break down Aso, some of the advanced strategies that we want to break down, what I'm seeing in the app stores. And so joining me today is Rich Wagstaff. He's an indie app developer out in the UK. Rich, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Not every intro is going to be polished. Rich, you've actually seen some pretty decent revenue growth. Do you want to talk about what you've been doing on your end? You don't have to get into specifics if you don't want to, but just what have you been doing on your end?
Yeah, I mean, so I have a crossword app, and about a few months ago, I started working with Steve, and he noticed that my pricing page it kind of needed some work doing to it. It was this kind of small, very simple pricing page, and Steve has been talking about long form pricing pages for quite some time. So with Steve's help, I kind of created this longer form pricing page, programmed it into the app. And in the beginning, it made no difference. I think it even made it a little bit worse, but with some, I know. But then with just tweaking and changing some of the copy and things, I think we're up about 20 to 25% now on what the original was doing.
Nice. Congrats, man. It wasn't me being like, Rich, talk about me, but it was just more of like, congratulations on the success, because a lot of it is, we're right, wrong, we never know. But I think what you did was just constantly tweaking it, because in the beginning you were like, Steve, it didn't work at all. But then, the most recently time we talked, you're like, hey, look at this revenue growth, and just tweaking it. And I'm working with somebody that's an indie developer too, and we're constantly tweaking the conversion rate. He's constantly tweaking the pricing page, finding some success, finding not success, and then we're going to do an upcoming video on some of the things that he's been able to change too. So congratulations, Rich.
Thank you. And it's not just the pricing page you should be tweaking. You should be tweaking everything, including ASO, and which we're going to get into later.
Yes, sir. All right, let's say hi to some people. Primos, I think I might be taking a look at his app today. What's up, Joe? Good to see you. We got Noah. What's up, fam? Hey, fam. Miguel's here. Go, Nick. Hey, we took a look at your app. Okay, good to see you. Still coming in. Next week, Romaine. How's it going, man? Rassi, good to see you. Rudy, what's happening, brother? And then Kevin, he's from Florida. Good to see you. Fernando, some similar or familiar names in here. I got an email from somebody that was like, hey, I'm in the Rassi. I think he's like, hey, what's up, dude? I join your, I'm like, dude, I know, I know the people who show up in and out week in, week out. Anything else that you've been testing on your end, Rich, that you want to talk about before we hit into some of the ASO stuff?
Yeah, sure. It's something that I can tell you one that hasn't worked.
Okay, I love that. Yeah.
It was simply, it's kind of worked, but not kind of to the extent that I wanted it to. It was simply on the first page that people see when they first download the app. I've been testing the headline and the button title and kind of the subtitle as well beneath the title. Tried these 3 different combinations, very different combinations. And I think I was trying to just improve the number of people who clicked that first button. I think I managed to improve it by 1%, which really isn't worth it. But yeah, it's always worth trying these things, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, totally. The other thing I want to talk about too is what are you using to A/B test? Are you live A/B testing? Or are you just like publishing a new version and then looking at week over week data?
Yeah, it's all in Firebase A/B testing.
Okay. Is that pretty easy to set up?
I think you probably need to be a developer to be working through that. I guess I don't know, actually. Maybe you can do it, thinking about it. As long as the developer puts it in, you can always just run the tests if you're not a developer. Yeah. So I would say, it's okay to do. It's not too bad.
if you're not a developer and you're trying to hire
Mm-hmm.
somebody to do an A/B test,
Mm-hmm.
roughly how many hours do you think it's going to take you to do set up an A/B
It
test?
shouldn't take them more than 2 hours, I guess, to put that in.
Okay, I think want to give
Maybe
some
3.
perspective
Yeah.
just to see, because I think one of the tricks before was, hey, how long is it going to be to put sharp boots, right? When you're trying to vet developers, you give them that answer, and then hopefully you as a developer, Rich, you can help us with some of that too.
I think one of the biggest problems they'll face when they set it up is just all the configuration for it. The actual code for getting it in the app is really, really easy. It's just kind of all the configurations.
I see. So, all right. One of the things I want to get into is, oh my gosh, you went through a hardware change. I'm doing that. It's funny, Rich. I've been doing this, and now I'm like, wait, what happened? I can't share my screen. Great. All right. Let me see what's happening here. Let's see if I can do a window. Maybe that's better. Oh my God. Okay. So technical problems here. Rich, help me out here. What are some things? Give me some time while I try to fix
How long do you
need? 2 minutes. Fill up some time. Let's say some hi to some people. Marion is here. Adrian, good to see you, my friend. And then Adrian's on Ireland, I think. And then the La Saint. Hello, fam. Does this apply for web apps too? Yeah, why not? La Saint, I want to be known as a good marketing person. So let me know what you do from web app. All right. Are you doing anything from an ASO front that you've seen? What are you testing on your end? And then that will fill some time for me.
So I haven't done any ASO testing for a little while, but I'm going to start doing some shortly. I'm quite interested at the moment about the new things that Apple have brought out with the product page optimizations.
Mm-hmm.
So now I didn't know if you know, but you can test the icons within App Store Connect.
Yeah.
You can test the screenshots. Do you know if you can test the description, Steve?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I think it's just a promo text, what you can test right now. I think it's screenshots, promo text, and then the app icon you can test, but it requires a little bit of dev work, right?
Yeah, I was looking into that yesterday. I think you have to. So in the app that you send off to Apple, you have to kind of include the icons already in that package, and then you can test them in App Store Connect. Then you can't just upload an image of an icon and test it in App Store Connect, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to kind of testing all of that out, testing the screenshots and seeing which ones do well, because before it was just a bit, you put it up and see what happens and hope for
what
the
I've
best.
seen on our end too, Rich, is that when we've tried to test screenshots, I don't know why this is not working. When we tried to test screenshots, doing the A/B testing with Apple, we've seen the basic screenshots perform really well. Like whatever you originally have doesn't. Okay. So A usually outperforms any new version that we have. And so I've run this with a handful of clients. I would say under 5, but around 5-ish clients. Mm-hmm. And we've seen really the one that we normally had in the App Store work well. I think the one thing that I'm really focused on too is, and I think one thing that, you and I have been talking about it, one thing I would push you on is thinking about ASA, because I do think that these days, especially with app marketing, it needs to be a blended approach. There's one client where we're trying to do keyword optimization. We just can't make it move. They're getting downloads, but the ASO from a keyword front hasn't changed a whole lot. So I feel like, having talked to a couple of different people too, that these days, now you've launched your app a couple of years ago, if you're really thinking about a holistic approach, it needs to be a marketing mix, not just like keywords, ASO, done, buy type of thing.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's something that I fall short on for sure. It's not my arena, and I should probably get some help with that. But most of my downloads are all from ASO.
Right. And I think that when, our mutual friend Marco, I think he probably shared this publicly, but he started really thinking about this. Yeah, he did. Okay, I had to really think about this. But he had a paid app, and then I pushed them to do Apple search ads back in the day, and he saw it really work well profitably. And then he's able to build out his next app and so forth. But he's really thinking about that approach. So I would push you towards that too. And one of our other clients, what we really noticed was when we're doing localization, because I think the biggest mistake that most people make when it comes to ASA is trying to go too broad too soon. If most of your revenues are coming from whether it's the UK or the US, like, okay, cool, focus on that. Like one of our clients, I stopped his other campaigns in other countries because I saw that 90% of his revenue, I think it was 90% of his revenues were coming from the US. So I was like, let's pause this. So yes, we didn't like help him make more money, but we actually, he's like, dude, you saved me a whole lot of money. And so we stopped those campaigns because it just wasn't, it was driving good downloads. Like if you just look at the CPI, it was really good. But if you actually dug into the numbers a little bit, the conversion rates weren't there. And one of our other clients, we looked into the numbers and what we saw was, hey, Australia was really performing well for us. Like if you just looked at activations, you notice that maybe it was Canada or the US. But if you looked at activations and then trials to subscribers, we noticed that Australia was really, really high and really, really strong. And so we started running some ASA campaigns. And in February, we saw a decrease in sales across almost all the countries except Australia. And that's when we first turned on ASA in Australia. So one of the things that I would, anything you want to add to that? One of the things I would recommend, and we can talk about this a little bit later, is ASA.
No, that's, yeah, I don't really have a lot of experience with it, to be honest. I can tell you what I think, some things about it, and you can kind of put me right if you like.
Sure.
So how, because my app's the crossword app, and it's quite competitive, like for those terms. So it's quite expensive. How can you justify spending like say $3 to get a user and you only make $1 back from that?
Yeah. So I have this, and this is a video that I'm going to be creating soon. But essentially what we think about is, you can think about it as I don't want the numbers I've been pulling for clients is, I don't want to share that. But what we think about from a revenue perspective, Rich, one of the things you can do so easily, because I know the number of revenues you're making, the easiest way would be revenue over your monthly downloads, right? And then you can start to see, hey, how much can I really afford to pay for that particular user? So that's the easy way. Yes, there's old revenue and all that jazz, but that old revenue you worked for. And so now you're like, hey, I can turn this old revenue into new revenue potentially, right? So that's the easiest way. Look at the past, let's say 3 to 4 months, and then look at, okay, what is the average revenue per download you're getting for each month? And then you can kind of get a sense of where your break-even point is, right? So maybe it is a little bit higher for you. It doesn't have to be $3. Then when you come in thinking about from a Apple Search Ads perspective, there's a couple of different campaigns you can set up, right? You can start with the exact match. I've broken it down, exact match, broad match, and search match and all that stuff. But if you're like the simplest, and I just created a video, so I recommend you guys checking it out. But the simplest way of doing it would be what I call mimicking a Apple Search Ads basic. Because basic is pretty simple when you're trying to run that campaign. You give it the app, you give the budget, the daily cap, and then you say, hey, I only want to pay $1, let's say, for that install. And then Apple does the rest. And they don't give you any intel. And so I was like, how do I mimic this campaign on advanced, but get the intel? And so what I would do for you, because it's a crossword app, maybe just a crossword, right? Or maybe it's Wordle, right? Going off of that thing. But like it's those keywords on broad match, right? But then you turn search match on. And so it sort of mimics. So all the keywords that you have in your ASO, you know all those keywords, right? Put them on broad match, put search match on in this one simple campaign, put a daily budget, and then, you know, have a pretty conservative cost per install. So I would say in this campaign, if let's say you were willing to pay up to $1, and that, let's say it's 50 cents, right? So your maximum cost per tap will be 50 cents because you want to make sure there's some visibility, but you set that up and you let it run. And what I've noticed with other clients when I've set up this basic campaign is that you can then see which keywords are converting well. So unlike basic, where you get no intel, here you can start to see, oh, it is crossword, or it is the New York Times crossword, or blah, 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 blah. This, you have more intel that you can then make so for this other client, we're like, oh, this word that we never thought about is converting really high on Apple Search Ads. Let's make sure that we're actually focusing this keyword phrase, kind of long phrase, in ASO as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfectly. I'll try that next week.
All right. Nice, man. I like it.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just do this, Rich. How about that? Every month. All right, I'm gonna try to see how to make this screen share work. It's funny enough, maybe it's because I haven't restarted Chrome because I've been using the same computer. I haven't changed anything, Rich. So I'm gonna try to change without losing everybody, change everything. Oh, open this page in Chrome without losing you. Okay, I don't know if that's gonna work. I'm gonna try to jump. Let's see if this works, man, because I don't want to lose you. But so you might see me in 2 different spots. I do want to share some of this content. So if I can't share my screen, then we're screwed a little bit. All right. Let me see if I'm in the right account. You have any dad jokes ready to go?
I did find one. Do you want me to say it now?
Let's see. I think I'm in now.
All right. I found one dad joke. I need to find some more. Have you got some?
I do. I want to make sure I'm not coming off twice.
Yep.
Oh my God. Let me try one thing. Do you hear echo?
Yeah, you got echo.
Hey, I'm twice. There. Echo's gone. Okay. Let's see if this works properly. Oy vey. Oy vey, Rich. Oy vey. I don't know if I'm going to... The thing is, I want to just restart Chrome. I just don't know if I'm going to lose everybody. So I'm going to see what I can do on my end to make you... See if there's any questions. Let's see. All right, let's see. Rassi, Google is removed the ability to view an app when was last updated. So many absurd decisions from them nowadays. Interesting. LaSaint said, I think you asked what I do with web apps. So I build Flutter web apps using Flutter and Firebase, which Flutter already does not have. Cool. Well, it would be interesting, LaSaint, to know what kind of apps you've built, and that way I can help you out there too. All right, there's a few of you guys, so I apologize. Rich, I'm going to try to restart Chrome, come back, and then hopefully you tell some dad jokes if it's just you on the stream, and I'll be right, and hopefully nothing goes crazy, because I can't share my screen, which is annoying as hell, and if I can't do that, then it's pretty much pointless in my eye.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. Rich, saw you. All right, enjoy.
Yep, no pressure. I have no idea what to say. I hope Steve's back soon. What kind of apps are you guys working on then? I can see you guys in the comments, so maybe I'll...
You just gone? That wasn't too far. That wasn't too bad,
There
right?
you go.
Good. I'm back. All right, it's working. We are back to normal. The Rich Show. We love it. No pressure. You guys for being in here. The Rich Show performance app. What did you do, Rich? Were you able to talk or no?
I was like, I have no idea what to do now. So I just asked people what apps they were working on.
Hilarious. Rich, are you iOS only or Android only?
iOS.
Yeah, Keith says close and open always works. Yes, sir. All right, we're back, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Rich.
You're welcome, Steve.
I loved your question. Hey, what are you guys working on? All right, Rich, jump in anytime you want, but I'm going to go through this. So here are the things that I've been really thinking through, like ASO and advanced ASO strategies. So I think that everybody understands sort of like keyword optimization. We're going to get into some of this in the latter half of this, but I really want to talk about and break down in-app purchases and in-app events. Okay. So let's go into this. And Rich, again, stop me anytime. So in-app purchases, right? And I think the main thing that you want to do, while there might be some ASO benefits, having worked with bigger brands now, I think the biggest thing that we've seen from an ASA perspective too is that actually competitors using branded keywords, your competitors, works well in ASA, actually. But ASO, not so much, right? And it's probably because the majority of the clicks go to that first listing. And some people, I'm surprised, don't know that the first listing is an ad. It's pretty obvious in my eye, but they don't know that. So here, number one, protect the brand. And I'm pulling into Calm. So they're protecting the brand. They're bidding on their own keywords, right? They're spending a good amount of money on this, guys, especially for a brand name like Calm. You're going to spend a lot of money. They're number one. They obviously rank number one for their brand name. And then number three, look, they got Calm subscript or premium right here. So it's pretty easy to set up, right? You just have to upload this image. There's some dev work that you have to do. You give it a title and you give it a description right here, and boom, you're off and running. I've tried to optimize with this, like using different keywords. I'm not as big as Calm. For one of my apps, I put sleep sounds yearly. That's how I try to do it because it was a keyword that I was going for. But if nothing else, and if you don't get that keyword benefit, you are protecting your brand, which, and I'm talking to the bigger companies out there, you're already trying to do right here. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing this. And I'm going to talk about it with Headspace. So I took a look. Now, I couldn't see this, so I could be wrong in this, but it looks like Headspace does not have any in-app purchases that they've optimized like Calm has. So when I search for Headspace, they're again spending a good amount of money, I'm assuming, protecting their brand, right? And they've got an in-app purchase, in-app event, just like Calm does, right? To bring people in. They rank number one, but guess what? 1, 2, and then 3 is Calm. So again, like it costs you nothing as a big brand to do this. It costs you nothing as an indie developer to potentially, hopefully, try to rank for some keywords. I do have a friend way back in the day that used to use in-app purchases to rank really well for a lot of his keywords that are relevant to what he does. And so maybe it's just not as beneficial like it is back then. It was super beneficial. Maybe it's not as beneficial today, but I would say whether you're a big company who's protecting their brand or you're an indie who's just trying to see if it can get ranked. And the way I might think about this too, maybe for you, Rich, crosswords, and what are the longer tail crossword terms that have maybe lower difficulty that you can then put in as a title of this. So it's like daily crosswords is probably super competitive, but as an example, this is daily crossword. And then, you just put in description because it's not going to cost you anything, right? And it can help. If it does help, great. So it's one of these things where it's kind of like, don't expect big things, but it's very easy for you to execute on, and it could pay off for little things. That's what this ASO is all about. Anything you want to add on to it?
Yeah. So I've never actually done this. I think it's just more laziness on my part, to be honest. Yeah. If you show me the screenshot with the in-app purchase on, can you change the subtitle as well?
This one?
Where does that come from? Yeah.
I think this is just from your app name.
I see. App name. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So I do have a screenshot, and I could maybe pull it up too on how to do it. If you guys want to see it. Hopefully it opens up in the right spot. Okay. Yep. Have it. Okay. So here's what I did here. Let me see if you guys can see this. Boop. Boop. Okay, so this is where I did it, right? This is my Moonlight app. So I localized this, or I put this in here, sleep sounds yearly, and I try to get some ranking. Obviously, it didn't do anything. The thing I did not do, which you have to do as well, is upload this app promotion stuff. So back in the day, a friend of mine was only optimizing this display name, and he was able to rank really well. This is probably too competitive for me to go after, but this is something that I would think about doing and coming up with a better name, maybe even just repeating what I have in the the title, and then here's where you want to put it so that shows up. And then it says, make sure your app supports the, what is this method? Is that okay? Is that pretty easy? The SK payment transaction observer method?
Yeah, it's just what you have to use for in-app purchases.
Okay, cool. So I think like it's one of these where it's sort of like a no-brainer thing to do. And while they might not hugely move the needle, I think especially as a bigger company, I think it's a no-brainer thing to do just to protect your brand, because they're already spending. I know a lot of people are spending money to protect the brand. And the bigger the company I work with, the more like, hey, I got to protect the brand. So, all right, next thing I want to get into is in-app events. Again, one of these things that are simple to set up, right? Could give you some benefit, but won't hurt you. So I did this. I took a look. This guy's look at this. He's ripped, Rich. This is what you look like now, Rich? This is you?
If only.
So I was looking at some of the events and I saw this app, right? And I saw, all right, 7 minutes. So again, I took a look at other events that were happening now that are being featured within Apple. In-app events, I'm pretty high on it because Apple's always trying to promote their new technology, right? And so if you're trying to get that Apple feature, which a couple of our clients were able to get these Apple features, not specifically through in-app events, but it also just helps, right? So there's no reason why you can't do it because it's super easy to set up. Our mutual friend, Mark, we did at a YouTube live stream all about in-app events. He's seen some success with it. It's been like hit or miss, right? But I think it's pretty easy to do if you can design stuff really quick and then set it up pretty quickly too. So their thing is called Resistance Band Challenge, right? So I searched for Resistance Band Challenge and they're number one. I was like, interesting. I actually looked at their keyword historical data for this Resistance Band Challenge, and I noticed that there wasn't. So I don't know how long they've been ranking for that particular term, but I was like, that's pretty interesting, right? And when I looked at Resistance Band Challenge, now I don't know if we could take a look at it all together, but Resistance Band Challenge is the number one autofill, which, as we know, is pretty good for us. Like that's where we want to be. This is how we do keyword research. So I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. So again, pretty easy to set up, but what you can see is like maybe there's an advantage. And that's what Mark said. Like he was trying to rank for keywords that he was not using in his ASO, but he was using in his in-app events. So again, pretty easy to set up, and you can see some pretty decent benefits. And let's see if I can show you how to set that up. I do have the screenshot for you guys as well. So here again is my Moonlight app. And then here's the in-app event. I was trying to do a New Year's resolution. Again, ran out of time. But the name, short description, you do have to upload an image. You can put a long description, but I would focus in on the name and short description with some of the keywords that you want to target. So again, pretty easy. And then Rich, what I wanted to ask you was, you do have to, if you scroll at the bottom of this page, you do have to put a deep link. Is that easy to do? Like you do have to take them somewhere within your app. Is that an easy URL to put? Does it look like it's a URL?
Yes, it does get a bit messy sometimes, to be honest, with deep links. Yeah. But once you've got it set up, it's okay.
All right. Rudy's got some cool stuff. Rudy, sharing all for free. You should come back on, Rudy. Rudy said, recently I tried to raise the price by 40% and revenue raised by 30%, but in recent weeks, it slowly returns to the previous levels, but maybe it's just a declining of downloads. Could be, Rudy, could be, but that's really cool. I think, you have to play around with the pricing. That's what we learned too.
Yeah, so, I'd say look at the download numbers as well and figure out what the ratio is.
Exactly. We have, I don't know if you noticed this, Rich, but across the board, February tends to go down a little bit with downloads and even revenues. And so we just seen that across the board. One of our clients, we were freaking out because we're like, what the hell happened? And I was like, I don't know. I think it's seasonal. And then now I have enough data looking at all our clients. We've seen mostly February downloads are down.
It's usually the case for me as well. But last month was fine for us. It was great.
Last month? Yeah. February?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, usually it's down. I don't know what happened last month.
Were the downloads up in February too?
They were consistent. And so was revenue. Yeah.
Thanks. Rudy says, so I think I'll unlock all the calculations, but we'll lock some features I've developed in the meantime, or just finally switch to subscriptions. Hope you do, Rudy. Rich, what are the reasons for being iOS only? I'm planning on doing the same for a casual game, at least at first.
Yeah, so I started doing this a long time ago, and it was always the recommendation that you do iOS because people pay more on iOS. I think I've just kind of stuck to it, and I haven't ventured into Android because I don't really want to learn how to do that. At some point, it would be great to hire someone to do an Android app for me, but I just don't want to learn that and do that.
Whoops. Okay, no problem there. Manly says, App Masters, will this live be saved? It is saved. It's up forever. And it also goes on to a podcast feed. If you go to appmasters.com/podcasts or iTunes/iTunes, if you want to listen through there, or /Spotify, do some of these slashes, you can listen to the audio version of it as well. Okay. And then Ganoke says, does ASA eventually help ASO for the same keyword? I haven't seen it impact. Back when ASA first launched, yes. Immediate answer is yes. I think what it helps you with, Ganoke, is I think with ASO, Rich, jump in anytime, but it's a marketing mix. It's download velocity. The more downloads you're able to generate, the more revenue you're able to generate, the better your keyword rankings are going to be. So I think it's a combination of all of that. And so if we're just purely relying on ASO, we might hit a ceiling. That's why I'm like thinking about the marketing mix. And even for some of our other clients, like if we're just working on ASO and ASA, we're going to eventually hit that ceiling too. So I think to really scale, one of these bigger companies that we work with, they've got a whole marketing mix. It's a ASA, Google Ads, it's TikTok, it's Facebook, all that stuff. They've got all of that. And so I think for us indies, it's just step by step, right? ASA is that next natural step from ASO. And then you start thinking about other marketing channels. And when you think about the other marketing channels, you have to think about attribution and making sure, and that becomes another whole headache for you. But those are just step by step. Phase 1, ASO, phase 2, ASA, phase 3 and 4. That's where you start thinking about maybe social paid marketing.
I'll jump in as well, because earlier Please. I said, how can you justify spending $3 to get $1 back in revenue? But there's also the idea that if you can get that download velocity, you naturally increase the ASO downloads anyway. So it's not that equivalent thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. We have seen it work, right? Like this small Australia test, we saw revenues decline everywhere else except Australia. It more than doubled, right? So not more than doubled, but it was like 120%.
And did you see the organic downloads lift as well when you ran that?
Yeah, campaign? Actually, yes.
Yeah. That's super interesting.
Yeah, it was. Now, small sample size, right? We're working with hundreds of downloads. And so average wise, it was around, I think it was like 50 to 80 downloads a month on just ASO. I could actually pull up the numbers right now. But then when we ran ASA, we brought in 86 downloads, but the overall downloads went up to 250.
Is that 86? Are you running that a day or?
86 just for the whole month. And we started in February 4th.
Okay.
Yeah. I can give you, without mentioning who the client is, I can give you the exact numbers for you guys if you guys are interested. Again, it was super small, tiny sample size, but we're like, how do we scale this, right? So we spent revenues up a lot. Installs were up to, so normally it was 50 downloads a day. And then, the whole month. Sorry, Reg. So in January, did about 57. We did ASA installs of 86, right? So that's roughly 140 together if we think that it's going to stay in line. And then the overall downloads actually were 233.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I think that's only going to work in countries that you don't get so many downloads in it, isn't it?
Yeah, possibly, right? But the way we found out about Australia is we really looked at the numbers.
Wow.
We looked at the activations. So I'm going to share that template with you guys in another video, but it is looking at the downloads, looking at the activations, looking at the monthly activations, yearly activations, looking at the yearly, subs and all that stuff. And you can pull these out numbers easily within App Store Connect and then put them in the spreadsheet. But this brings us to Manly's question. Manly, like, good name. I think that's how you say it. What are your thoughts on Revenue Cat? You use Revenue Cat, Rich?
I don't use it now.
Yeah. I think it's hit or miss. Sometimes the numbers I've heard from some clients, they rely on it. Some other clients, like it's dramatically different from App Store Connect. So if you're on the free plan, try it out because it does pull in some of these numbers easily rather than having to pull it every month within App Store Connect. So allows you to easily see it.
Oh, I thought you had to pay for revenue cap.
There's, I think, a free plan. I can double check right now. I thought there was a free plan.
Because I just thought it made in-app purchases easier, but maybe I'm making a mistake there.
It does do that too. And then what other people have used it for, so there's a free plan up to $10,000 monthly recurring, I think, MTR.
Yeah.
And then you can see the numbers. So you can quickly get a sense of what's your monthly recurring revenue, how many new subscribers you got, all that jazz. And that's what my template does is I look at, it's an easy one. It's not like sophisticated with as revenue cap, but like it allows you to easily see monthly activations and then the new revenue per download. So your true revenue per download each month. All right, let's see. Manly says, what's ASO and ASA? Well, welcome to the app stores. So ASO, App Store Optimization, like SEO for the app stores. ASA, Apple Search Ads. So I'm glad you asked because we use a lot of acronyms and I hate it because I'm always like, what the acronym is that? Some people make up. I feel like some people make up their own acronyms, Reg. Right? All right. Rudy says Android users are cheap. Started as an Android developer, but slowly moved to iOS. Unless you have millions of downloads and live off ads. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Cool. I use Revenue Cap for free up to 10,000. Yep. Okay. Cool. It's like all these tests. People are like, is this worth it? Okay. All right, guys. Well, that concludes part 1 of our ASO live stream. We're going to get into part 2 where we'll take a look at your apps. And if you want us to take a look at your apps, it is a 6-month wait now. But if you're willing to wait, you can do that just by going to appmasters.com/audit, appmasters.com/audit. Or you can do a premium one where you and I will sit down for an hour if you want to skip the line, so to speak. And I love doing those premium ones because we've actually, one of our clients now that we're working with, he's like, Steve, from that 1 hour call, like we've doubled this rate and we've done this with the revenue. So I'm like, dude, why'd you wait so long to tell me? So I love doing that. And it's pretty fun. It's one of my, that's why. And it started because we started doing this. So let's take a look at these apps too. All right. We have Raphael. Raphael asks how to drive downloads through better ASO. All right, Raphael, here's the app. Oh, Rich, we got to start it off. Why don't you stop me, man? Got to start it off with my favorite part of the show. Dad joke rounds. All right, Rich, you want me to go first or you want to go first?
You go first.
All right. You know what? I had to pull in the cheesiest ones I could find. Okay, because I found that the cheesier, the better. Okay. Hopefully I can do a religious one. If Jesus were alive today, what kind of car would he drive? If Jesus was alive today, Rich, what kind of car would he drive? He would drive. Wait, did I do this one? Redo that. Okay. You do that.
You've already done that one, have you?
I did that last week. Okay. Sorry. What's a criminal's most hated metal? What's a criminal's most hated metal?
I don't know. What is it?
Copper. There you go. All right, Rich, what you got?
I have got. Did you hear about the actor who fell through a trapdoor?
No. What happened?
It was just the stage he was going through.
All right. Good. Edwin said Jesus drives a Mazda 323. No, it was a Chrysler. Okay, it was a Chrysler, but there's a little bit more jokes. All right, cool. I wanted to do a game. I'll do a game next week, guys. I've been working on a game concept. So Never Dies, Mazda. There you go. And then we got some questions from Wander. All right, now let's take a look at Raphael's app. Raphael's got a New Year's resolution app, which I think is interesting. And only because I'm like, like how much traffic does that keyword have? Is it too seasonal for me? All that stuff is what I'm concerned about. But let's take a look at his app. So ASO wise, anything you want to start off with, Rich? I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, I would probably change the name, to be honest.
This resolution
Just
RSLTG.
RSLTN. Yeah, I don't like it really.
Just call it resolutions or resolutions planner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it hurts, especially if you're not trying to build a brand, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed. Anything from New Year's resolution 2022? So that seems pretty good.
I don't know what's the point in putting the 2022.
Well, I do know that like there's some, especially in the games, there's some keyword volume for having that year 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. So take a look at that. Maybe having the year is interesting for you. Rafael, look, the Spanish Mexico localization, we say it day in and day out. The US App Store indexes this localization. So if you're trying to target US downloads, put a different title, put a different subtitle, put a whole different keywords, all in English, and it'll help your US ranking. Your screenshots look a little bit too small, this text for me. So whatever the main keyword you're going after, I would make it big and bold. Okay. And I pulled his app in here. I thought I added more keywords. So let me do that real quick. So resolution.
I would also try and figure out the kind of benefits and put them in the screenshots because I don't really think he's selling it.
Yeah, I agree here. Let's go back to it real quick. Bestseller, what does that even mean?
Yeah. You need something like make your resolutions actually happen or something.
Yeah, so here I did just this real quick. Let me move all this stuff. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
So when you put resolutions, you have these that come up. So think about that New Year's resolution 2022. This could just be an app rich. That's why. Yeah. That's why there's on autocomplete. But look, Rafael, I've just named it that too. He's ranking this well and on an autocomplete. And he only has 5, ratings, which you have way more. So think about how you change that. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to see resolution. Now, Rich, I don't know if you tried this, but I heard, and it was on Twitter through a friend of mine, Sylvain, who does growth gems. He mentioned me, and apparently David Bell from Gummy Cube, he was saying that, yes, if you're just using the singular version, so like, for example, resolution, and we wanted to rank for resolutions, then you will get ranked for it. You'll get indexed for resolutions too. But if you really want to be ranked for both the singular and plural, it's better to have both versions in your ASO. Have you done any testing on your end about that?
Yeah, it's hit and miss, to be honest. I personally have both in mind, so I have crossword and crosswords. I mean, ASO is a bit of a black box, to be honest. You don't know quite what's happening all the time. So
yeah,
I personally have crosswords and crossword. I think it helps, but I can't be sure.
Yeah. And see, this is what my fear was in the very beginning of this was like, there's just not a lot of volume. So daily planner, I threw that in there just because I thought he had this in here, but resolutions planner, but just resolution. And I know as we can look at resolution. So I'm using ASO Mobile. They are a sponsor of mine, full disclosure, but it doesn't look like resolution on its own has any traffic. Guys, if you thought my joke was better than Rich, put S. If you thought Rich is better, put R. I got to look, it's tied right now. Miguel said, vote for Rich. He loves you. There you are, Miguel. Fernando said S so far. And then Rassi, as I pull up these keywords, said, hey, Rich, do you have any ads in your crossword game? If so, what is the percentage revenue comparison between ads and in-app purchases?
Yeah, I tried ads a long time ago and it completely flopped. So it's purely subscription based.
Yeah. Kudos to you on that. So here, we're trying to find new keywords. New year might be interesting traffic wise. So this is 33, a lot better than resolution. Actually, no, it's not better. This wasn't the search ad. So what we can also take a look at is long tail or low competition. Let's see search ads. All right, ASO Mobile. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a lot of good keywords for you. That's the problem. So we do have resolutions here. While it's low competition, it just doesn't have a lot of keyword volume. And that was my main concern when I saw your app, Rafael. Like, think what I would try to do based off of like what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's habits or streaks, think about how you can rebrand it into something that has more volume. And look, man, I did that same thing because I'll tell you guys, when I did Moonlight, I try to go sleep sounds, as you can see in the URL. My first name was sleep sounds. I was trying to rank for sleep sounds in my URL. I mean, my in-app purchases too. But I noticed that I couldn't do anything, and background noise was the better one. And so I want to redo. I just don't have time to do it, but I want to redo everything in terms of presence and all that stuff to more of the background noise, because I do know that it has some volume, and I'm able to rank better for that versus sleep sounds. So it's one of these things where you try it, it doesn't work. And so let's change all the branding. Let's change everything to more like background noise, maybe even focus potentially. But yeah, you just have to do that. And that's what I would recommend for you as well. Rich, anything else?
No, I think that's
okay. We got
I think resolutions, they're just going to come up once a year, aren't they? And
let's go into the app real quick. Welcome. Give your resolution. You have a resolution, Rich, that you're willing to share?
I haven't got anything. So I was just reading the comment by Joe. How did you come up with the name Tap Tap Slide?
I will talk to you about that a little bit. Okay. So I put meditate. So if you're asking me what to name it, I like that. Usually if you get people to input a little bit, they're more willing to do stuff more in the app. So I like that. The thing that I'm looking at, Raphael, it looks like there's a free 3-day trial. I would make that known. I don't even know how to subscribe. So I would put a button that says start free trial right off the bat. And then because these prices are so low, think about differentiating the trials a little bit. Maybe only the 12-month has a trial and the 1 month has no trial. And that's where, to Rich's point, he saw the longer pricing page didn't perform at first, but then started really changing some things. That's what you have to do. That's what I would be doing right now, is seeing how I can mix match these trial periods to, here, I'm assuming I'm pressing the 12-month one right now, Raphael. Okay. Mismatching it so that you're like, hey, sign up for this 12. It's $20. It's super cheap. Why wouldn't you do it? Maybe this only comes with the 7-day and everything else comes with a no trial method. You do know that trials work, but maybe figure out a way to mismatch it so that you can get people into a yearly plan versus a monthly plan. Okay. Yeah, this pricing page needs some work. All right, Rich, tell them. Be the bad guy, Rich. Tell them.
Yeah, I agree with Steve.
How dare you? No, Rich said that was all Rich Wagstaff, okay? All right. This is interesting. What happened to my meditation goal? What do you think about this UI?
I don't like all the example goals. Unless that's what you did.
I didn't.
Or is that what comes up normally?
Meditate. So I did. Trying to meditate every day. What the hell? What happened to it?
Yeah, you don't really know what to do from that screen, do you?
No.
There's nothing really saying,
I don't even know how to save this.
Now.
I don't even know how to save this. There's no save button. Raphael, there's a lot of UI problems here. Rich says there's a lot of UI problems that you need to work on, Raphael. Oh, now it's here. Weird. Nothing happens. Look, bro. Raphael, there's a lot of UI work that I can't help you with. You have to fix this. Like, I put meditate. I didn't even know that you tracked it. So what the hell? Like, if I did something and I saved it, show me something else. Visually show me that, hey, what you just inputted worked. It's saved. You didn't do that. Ugh. Raphael, you gotta hire a UI designer. All right, bro? Rich said it, not me. All right, it's tied right now. Give me one more vote. It's 2-2, Canuck. You traitor. You guys are all traitors. Joe, yes. Back to the home team. And then Joe asked, Steve, how did you come up with tap tap slide? Joe, this is like when we first created the App Store account back in 2011. It was with my brother-in-law. We're trying to build kids games, and we thought like it would be fun to call it tap tap slide. That's where the original name came from. So and it just stuck because we can't change the app title. Oh, Rich, one thing I did notice, and I'll mention this too. I got an email from Apple because I sold an app from my portfolio and I moved it to actually, we built it on my app and I moved it, transferred it out to another business that I'm running with another friend of mine. But I moved it. I was opt out of the small business program. They've recently changed that to make it so that even if you do that, but you're under the 1 million mark, you're still qualified. So thank you, Apple. That was lame for you to do it, right? Thank you. All right.
That's great.
And then Joe says it, the typography on this page is a bit poor, no proper hierarchy, and it means meshes. Yeah, talk to Joe, Raphael, because he's got a lot of great advice for you. He's a great UI guy. So same with Rich. No more votes? Okay, we'll call it tie. Round 2, Rich, do you have another one that you want to go into?
I don't, but I have to find one.
Okay, you find one. All right. Rich, how far can you run into the woods? How far can you run into the woods? Halfway. After that, you're running out. Boom. That deserves. Guys, thank you. That's so good.
What have you got there? Have you got a soundboard or something?
Yes, sir.
Nice. This one's maybe you'll get it. Why was the useless goalkeeper called Dracula?
Why?
Because he was afraid of crosses. You don't get it because you do. You're American.
No, I know. I get it. I just wanted to mess with you. All right, Rich. Well, you football, soccer fans. Crosses is like shooting it from one end to the other end, right? Like you kick it, and then you're pretty much kicking it to the top.
Yeah,
left,
you're kind of kicking it kind of towards the goal, so someone else can kick it in.
Right, good. Thank you, Joe. Steve. Sorry, Rich. You don't have to be sorry, Joe. It's okay. Mine was stronger.
Be sorry.
All right. Samantha's app. Let's take a look at hers. More votes, please. This is going to determine a lot is on the line between Rich and I. So Samantha's got this app. I wanted to focus purely on ASO. Strength for running. 10 weeks to stronger running. And I love the screenshots, Rich. I'll kick it off with that. But obviously the title and subtitle need some work. But what do you want to talk about?
Again, I changed the name. Yeah.
You don't like this 10W2S?
10W2S. No one's going to say that, are they? So
yeah,
I would probably change it to something like Run Stronger or Strong Run or something.
Yes. Yeah. I love, I didn't come up with the name App Masters. This is like when we started this community, somebody else came up with it, and I didn't even actually like it the first time I heard it. And actually everybody in the community was like, yeah, I love it. And so I was like, okay, let's go with that. And I think what I learned from that is people want to be associated with something like that, right? Strength, if it's running, particularly in fitness. So like, I love the strong run or strong run, stronger, things like that. It like Fitbit, like fit. Okay, I'm fit. You know what I mean? So like anything where you can have positive words in your title would be better here. All right, Samantha. Looks like I'm going to just assume Samantha. This is Samantha, and she's an influencer. Can we assume that, Rich? What do you think?
Yeah, I searched for her online. Apparently, she used to do skiing, like in the what was it? I don't know. Yeah. Apparently, she used to be a professional skier anyway.
Oh, cool. Yeah, 10 weeks to so that's what I would do, Samantha. I have some knee pains. Okay, I should try this. Try wall squats.
Yeah,
Rich, I'm trying to run 100 miles in the month of March, but I'm trying to do it 20 days. Okay, maybe because I'm saying this live, I can do that. But my knees are hurting. I'm at 4 days in. I'm at about 17 miles, 18 miles. 4 days in, so pretty good pace. But my knees are really hurting. So today's a light jog day. But that's what I would do too. And if Rich loses, you have to do 100 miles too. How about that, Rich? Yeah, with the jokes.
No.
No? Okay. How dare you, Rich? All right. Let's take a look at the ASO on this front. Because I put in here Samantha. My daughter's name is Samantha, so I like that. Kindred. Okay. So strength training, decent running. It's got pretty good traffic, right? And it says, according to ASO Mobile, it's low on the thing, but the competition's pretty low right here. KEI is just how relevant it is to your app. So the higher, the better here. But anyways, it looks like good traffic, low competition. So really, let me try to put just run, see if that run, and then run stronger. What did you come up with, Rich? Strong. What else?
Oh, like strong run or something. Yeah,
strong run. Here's some other examples. Samantha. Run has way more traffic, but running trainer, decent, right? Not bad and pretty low competition. So if anything, definitely think about renaming the name. And then, there's this other app called Couch to 5K. So I think she might be basing it off of that, but I even threw in jogging. So there's no traffic for jogging. And I think Couch to 5K, maybe 5K, things like that. Especially if they're a beginning runner, 5K is probably a good, decent goal. I would go after running trainer. So running trainer in your subtitle here, running or running strong or stronger running, something like that in your title. You definitely want running, strength for running, but you want to put it on the left. It's not going to make a lot of difference, but it's better than 10W2S. Okay.
When I first looked at this, I didn't really get it. I think just kind of the messaging needs cleaning up a little bit. I started reading the description and I really like what she's doing with it.
Oh yeah, what did you like?
I think you should just take a lot of what was in the description and put it in the screenshots, because I don't really know what does it say? Stronger running? I don't really know what that means, to be honest. And I think what she's doing is she's trying to, it's kind of like a strength program, but for runners. And this is going to help prevent injuries. It's going to help improve your performance. It's not like, it's differentiated from pretty much, I don't know, but I'd never heard of this kind of concept on the App Store before.
I'm a big Peloton user, and they actually have like strength for runners or blah, 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 core for runners. Those are easy. But what I like that. You're right, Rich. I agree with you. So I think what I would say is, strength training for runners. Let's lead with that. We already know from an ASO perspective, this is what it is. Your number 2 screenshot, Samantha, should be reduce injury, improve running performance. Yeah. That is the core of what people are most worried about, right? 1, am I going to get hurt? 2, especially if you've been a long time runner. 2, it's like, can I even run? Right. And so it's like, hey, for you beginners, you can start to run and you can start to do this. And then for you more advanced ones like myself, then it's more like, how do I stop getting my knee to stop hurting after running just like 20 miles in 3-4 days? So that would be interesting too. I like it, Rich. Good feedback. Miguel says 100 miles. Steve, did you post the videos of doing burpees? I still need to do that. Okay. Good call, Miguel. Good call. I will do that today. How about that? With my broken knees. Okay. Anything else you want to add, Rich?
Yeah, the screenshots, they look great. But I mean, you're saying the same thing in the first 2, and you haven't got any kind of messaging on the 3rd one or the 4th.
We redid it. All right, Samantha, we redid your screenshots. First screenshot, strength training for runners. Second screenshot, improve performance or, learn to run properly if you're a beginner.
Reduce your injury risk.
Yeah, and then reduce risk. Third screenshot, your social proof, a physiotherapist.
Okay,
And then 10 weeks to stronger running. You can put that at the bottom.
There's also like she's got 90 plus exercises in there. It's a 10-week program. Like these are all different screenshots that can be.
Where do you think she's based out of?
I think it's Australia.
Australia? Okay. Man, all these strength people like Kayla, strength. Good job on the social media. That's awesome. All right. Let's take a quick look at the app and then we'll call it a day. More votes, please. All right, let's take a look. Rich, what do you think? We got 1 for me. Primos. You're new here, Primos, so I'm going to let you choose Rich. Steve, Rich, you owe me 100 miles. At least some burpees. How about 10 burpees? 10 burpees?
10 burpees. I could do that.
Okay, cool. Noah. Thank you, Noah. Yes, sir. S. Thank you. Joe says, I like to see that background swoosh in the first screenshot transition over to the second screenshot. So I'm going to just read your stuff, Rick, or Joe, so that people who might listen to the, yeah, good point. Here, let me just show it. Joe, great UI. He wants to think, Samantha, this little swoosh that you have going on, maybe go through it throughout the whole entire app, right? The branding's super strong on your website. I love it. Looks beautiful. And then what, like what I normally look at, Rich, is people have a great messaging on their websites, but their screenshots suck, right? It's like, hello, strength training. She has it. Strength training for runners. Boom. She has
it's
this.
all there, isn't it?
It's all here. And this is what I usually do when I'm looking at it. 3 levels. This is all what you want, right? Like 10 weeks of stronger running, maybe even put first week free, right? So you have all this on your website, Samantha. Throw it onto your screenshots. And you already have the like hierarchy here anyways too. So
already
didn't
done
really
all
need
the
our
hard
help,
work.
but you kind of did. All right. 10 weeks of stronger running. Again, this first screen, rephrase it, Samantha. What I would do is strength training for runners, use language that people understand. Okay, because I have no understanding of what stronger running is. Get started. All right, let me hide this. I hate these login things, especially when I'm using. Okay, let me share it back again. Tell me about yourself. I'm a male. Half marathon.
Really? You're elite, right?
Yeah, I ran a half marathon last week.
Really? Oh, nice.
Rich,
I was going to do a half marathon, but I got this training plan and it was 14 weeks, but I only had 10 weeks to do it. So I thought if I just kind of cram it all in together, I can get it done and then I can run it at the end. But I got injured after the week 2. So.
Oh no. Rich, how much do you think I weigh in kilograms? See, I don't know how to do kilograms, but how much do you think I weigh? And you're not going to offend me. Throw out any number.
70 something, 72, I guess.
Hell is 70. Let me see. Oh, way under, bro. Way under.
Well, there you go. There's a change they can make from kilos to.
Yeah, come on. Let me change that, Samantha. No.
Yeah.
I'm about 64.
You're about 64. Wow.
Yeah. Fluctuate between about 142 pounds. So 640, 64.4. Very active, bro. Very active, bro. Wow, Samantha's super tiny. Yo, gotta fix the messaging here. You got to do that. Samantha, look, I'm going to assume because you have a website that you maybe have an online program that I can sign up through the, if you don't, I might be wrong. It's all app. That's fine. But look, this is all big text, good, balance. This is tiny little screenshot right here. So I think she's saying like either subscribe or get the hell out. And here we've done a lot of different tests here. I like it. You want to go longer. Rich, longer, right? Longer works?
It depends. You've got to tweak it.
Okay. Is it still long?
Depends.
Is
mine's still long.
Yeah, okay. Is it longer than the before?
It's longer than before, yes.
All right. This guy, man. Just messing. We've known each other for years. So make it bigger, make it longer. We've seen it better perform. And so like social proof before and afters, think about all the different fitness apps out there. One of the things I really like to do in another upcoming video I'm going to do is competitive analysis, really breaking down. And I think it paints a clear picture of how you are with your competitors. And I'll give you the template. It's not going to be for free, but like you'll see the template I put together and I've shared it with other clients. And I'm like, hey, is this valuable? Is this beneficial? Because what we've seen on our end too is that sometimes your price points are too high. Now, I've been a proponent of always increasing prices, right, Rich? But we have one client where he actually decreased prices because he did a competitive analysis on his own and he saw that his prices were too high. And then I did one for another client. I was like, hey, if you look at all your competitors, you're like almost double the price of all this stuff. And we looked at his numbers, his conversion rate sucks. And so one of the tests that we'll be doing in March is lowering that price point to see, and we did, a break-even point and all that jazz, because you can then tweak the numbers, just see, all right, if I price it at this and I maintain this conversion rate, what are my new revenue numbers? And you can pull all those numbers. And we came to a good price point, so we're going to test all that. But that's what I would do too, Samantha, is look at like other strength training programs, how much they're charging, and maybe even think about like a quarterly, because it's a 10-week program, right? Maybe a quarterly program, maybe the week one performs the best, but think about other pricing, because I do think that when it comes to the pricing page, people want options. Because what I found is indies want cheap, big business companies want really expensive. They don't want cheap because they're like, you might suck if I get the cheap plan. So they want to pay you more. And so like maybe I'm a advanced runner and I want to pay you more. I want to be committed. So give them options and let them pick and choose what they want. Not too many options. All right. Anything else? Oh, people, Rich, you think I'm a fatty? Look at Rassi said 63. I like that. Sean's at 60.
I was thinking you had more muscle, Steve.
You know what? Ever since going vegan, I did lose a little bit more.
Okay.
My arms aren't as big. They're like really. It's like weird talking about myself. Well, they're really toned, you know what, Rich? But they're not as big as they once were. But yeah, I like that. I play a game with everybody. So I want to play more games with you guys next week. Okay. Let me see if I missed anything from. I did miss something. How are you on time, Rich? You good?
Go a little bit over? I'm good.
Okay. Yep. Wander asks, any tips to run optimized Google and Facebook ads? Is video really the most important creative in the app install campaigns? Thanks.
I got no idea.
Wander, with Google, it's actually the text ones. Now, depending on your category, it's going to depend a lot. I'm going to say non-games. It's really the text ads that get most of the installs, right? Because with Google app installs, it's a black box. You just give them some text, headline, some description, maybe some images, maybe some videos. For clients where we have all these assets, the text gets the most impressions, the most click-throughs, all that stuff. With Facebook ads, I do think that probably video is the best way. But again, it all comes down to testing. Maybe it's static images, maybe it's video. You're going to have to toy around with that. But with Google ads, I can safely say, especially for non-games, I don't know for games, I've never done Google ads for games, but for non-games, it is the text ads that are more important. All right, Rich, I'm going to have to post the burpee video and you will have to post your 10 burpees too. Noah says, I thought about doing in-app events solely for more ASO juice, but not sure. Do you think in-app events are worth doing for a utility app, ad blocker browser? Ooh, that's a good one. What do you think, Rich?
I can't really think what kind of event you'd have in that app. So
yeah, I don't know what kind of event either, Noah, but I do think if, like it's benefit and cost analysis, right? Like how long is it going to take you? For me, it might take me a little bit of a while. Rich, might take you what, maybe an hour tops to figure this stuff out, like put some imagery together, maybe 2 hours tops. Let's say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done it before.
Yeah, okay. So like maybe 2, maybe 3 hours. No, if you can do it yourself, then maybe it's, think about like what's happening in terms of like these stupid national holidays like Donut Day or like stuff like that, and then see if you can sort of leverage that, right? Like block ad day, or I don't know what it would be, but I'd have to think about it. I'll think about it for you if I come up with something. I know you're here week in, week out, so I'll let you know next week if I can think of anything. And then Joe says, don't force users to do the KGLB conversion. Yep, agreed. Social proof, you need it. Look at these guys. Look at this family. We're all saying the same stuff now. It's a cult now. Oh my goodness, guys. Let's not all agree on the same stuff. You also do need that paragraph of subscription disclaimer on the text right here. This bottom is what Joe is talking about. You don't need that.
Really? When did they change that?
You just need to put in like terms and services, really. That's what.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I've seen. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. Skuznizu, I don't know how to say that. Are Facebook ads still working after the iOS update, or should we focus on other ad platforms? Yes, we did a live stream with Mike Durst a couple of weeks ago, so just check out all the live streams we've done. and we talk about Facebook ads in detail, how he's optimizing it. So definitely check that out. But he's still running it. It doesn't sound as effective as it once was, Scug, but it still works. Noah, appreciate it. Oh, Joe says about a year ago. That's what I'm talking about,
Wow.
Joe. Dig in on him, man. About a year ago, bro. Come on. I like Joe. All right. Rich, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Do you want to promote your apps? I can link to your apps.
Yeah,
We have links to Joe or Rich's apps in the description. So if you want to check it out there. But what can I do to the audience wants to connect with you? Where should they go?
Yeah, just find me on LinkedIn. And yeah.
Yeah, you're probably like the very few rich Wagstaffs in the world, right?
Yeah, sometimes you come across another Wagstaff and it's like, what?
Hey, are you watching Valhalla on Vikings?
I'm not. I'm on the last episode of Inventing Anna.
Okay. Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, that's really good.
Hey, I'm going to do a quick plug. I have a new podcast I've been doing with a friend of mine. The listenership is really low, so I want to see if I can get a bump from you guys. But it's called Hot and Streaming. It's on Spotify and, Apple Podcasts. We talk about movies. We've been talking about Archive 81. We talk a lot about rom-coms. So do me a favor, go check it out. If you don't even listen, just download a bunch for me. I want to see those numbers bump up. Give me the App Masters bump. Go check it out. I've been digging Archive 81. Rich, I will tell you, there's a great show that I'm digging a lot about, and it's what I'll be watching this weekend is Severance on Apple TV. Okay. You check that out?
I haven't even got Apple TV.
Okay. Dude, I have the Apple Plus whatever thing. Anyways, so that's how I got Apple TV, but love that show, Severance.
Okay.
And then which is on this weird streaming platform called Epix.
Okay.
It's 4 episodes out, and I'm like looking for the 5th one. So what are you guys watching? Put in the comments. And then great episode. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Rudy. Good to know you're safe. And then all this like things. I got rejected for no footer description 3 months ago. Oh, okay.
This is classic, isn't it?
Yeah, classic Apple. No, you're welcome. Good to see you, man. See you last week. And then Joe, I still have that text in a UI alert view because I do feel like it's beneficial for my UI users. Love that, Joe. Cool. Noah says the Kanye doc is great. And then, okay, well, I think we're good. All right. Rich, thank you, my friend, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Go check him out. Go connect with him on LinkedIn. He's a cool guy. I've known him since he was a little pup, and now, what are you? You're in 30s now or close to it?
I am really close to it.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Rich, for coming on. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about, I know you guys love it when we talk about ASO, but we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're talking about influencer marketing. How do you get content creators? And I want to break it down for the indies too. So don't think that you don't have the budget to do it, because we have an indie that we did a podcast about where he used content creators as an affiliate model. So I'm going to really break it down. If you think it's just for the big companies out there, I'm going to try to prove you wrong and then come up with the content with our guests, talk about how do you work with content creators, not only to use that content for ads, but also to drive more downloads. So join us next week. We'll be here every Friday. It's one of my favorite things to do. Thank you guys for coming week in and week out. It means a lot to me because this is the only social aspect of my life, really. So Rich, thank you, man, for coming on in such short notice. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate your friendship. And then the fact that we've been able to do some amazing things together. So thank you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for voting. Thank you for making me the winner so that Rich has to do some burpees. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye. All done. Dude, some people just leave. Like, okay, done. Bye. I'm like, wait, there's no goodbye.
I was like, oh, do I go now? I don't.